Hi, I'm Beverly Toppin. Welcome back to my channel, PhD Journey. I know it's been a while since I've been here, since I posted my first video, but I'm really excited to be here. Now, today we've been discussing self-care. It has been a topic I discussed in my first video when we looked at 8 tips to the journey. And I'm really excited to share with you. Now, before I even go there, I want to share with you a book that was written by a very dear friend of mine, Dr. Demetriou. And wow, this book is supporting the mental health and well-being of learners in post-16 education. This book is gold. This book is absolutely gold. I will be using this book a lot as it pertains to my PhD write-up because it touches topics in there that will help support my findings, and I'm really excited. But I do want to say that outside of my PhD write-up, that this book offers practical solutions or practical help for anyone who really wants to get some balance or, add some solutions or activities that you can actually do to help you through your journey, whether that's educational, whether you are the teacher or the lecturer or you on the other side. And one of the chapters that I thought to be quite helpful was chapter 4, and it's the relationship between social and emotional well-being and learning and attainment. And what Dr. Demetriou looked at was physical well-being and learning, social well-being and learning, psychological well-being and learning, and the impact of learning on well-being. And get this, he also looked at the impact of mental health issues and well-being on engagement. This book is actually quite gold dust in light of society and the mental health issues at this current time. It really is a timely, very, very timely book to get your hands on. I think that anyone in academia, at any level of academia, can actually benefit from this book by Dr. Demetriou, supporting the mental health and well-being of learners in post-16 education. I think this is actually quite a good place to start as it pertains to looking at self-care in light of persons who are in academia and need to have that balance. So what I want to do today is I want to do a practical session. Yes, a very practical session of showing you how I go about planning my months, my weeks, as it pertains to getting productivity in and still having that balance when it comes to self-care. And I mentioned in my first video how important self-care is, because I said before, you don't want at the end of the journey, at the end of your PhD, that you're not well enough to be able to give of your very best self. And self-care is very critical at any level of academia, and also too in any field of work. You can apply simple tips, and we're not using any fancy apps. We're doing very basic stuff you'll be able to use that will actually help contribute to your planning, your sessions, and being able to be as productive as you can be, and also be able to fit in that self-care that your body actually needs. So once again, book written by Dr. Demetriou, supporting the mental health and well-being of learners in post-16 education. I just thought it was a pretty good place to start as it pertains to self-care. Now, today's video is going to be a practical video. I want to show you the basic tools that I use to help plan my week and my month. That way I can actually have my schedule lined out, that I can have productivity as it pertains to my career, to my my academia, my working on my research, as well as making sure I incorporate my self-care in that. It's going to be 3 basic tools that I use, and I'm going to show you that right now. And at the end of that, then I will discuss with you why having a schedule, while planning out a schedule that incorporates your self-care into it, is very, very critical. So let's get to it. Okay, now the basic tools that I use to plan out my work as it pertains to getting productivity in and also self-care. Simple basic tools. I use a whiteboard. Yes, a very small whiteboard. We'll get to that. I use my planner, my diary, and I also use the computer Microsoft Word calendar, where I can type more stuff in to have it a bit more neater than my whiteboard. So the first thing we're going to look at is the whiteboard, and this is already planned. This is already my schedule for the month of August 2025, but I'm going to erase this here. I'm going to start a practical session of how I go about doing this, and then I'll then show you how I transfer information to be more detailed in my diary, and then also to how you can transfer this here onto a calendar using calendar from Microsoft Word. You'll see how easy and simple it is, and how something or tools this simple can actually make a big difference if you really want to engage in getting the best of yourself as it relates to productivity, time management, and self-care. So let's start with the whiteboard. Okay, so here we are, and once again, this is a finished product. I'm going to erase it so we can start on a clean slate, and all it is a simple whiteboard, a very simple whiteboard. So this is already finished, but I'm going to erase this here and walk you through how you can use a simple whiteboard to help with your productivity and planning and get your lifestyle, together. So this is a very small whiteboard. Of course, there are bigger ones. This is literally the size of an A5 US letter paper. That's how small it really is. So 8.5 by 11, this is the size of that. But you can get a bigger whiteboard if you want to. So I'm going to erase this here so we can start on a clean slate. Now, it's important to note that once you've done your calendar, you can actually use a permanent marker to create like these lines here. This was not purposeful. It's just that I've used it and done it before. So the lines tend to stay very long, stay on. I have to really rub really hard to get them off, even though it's not a permanent marker. But let's work with what we have, what the board allows me to be able to do. Now, what do you need with the whiteboard? I use a ruler, a very small ruler, so I can begin. The first thing I'm going to do is to use a small ruler to create, I don't have to use, I can just use the black marker to create my line around my rim. This is my just regular line. And then I use the ruler to put in the lines for my days, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm going to draw that line in now with a black marker. And then below that, I'm going to draw another line across. And as you can see, I already have the lines marked out for the days of the week. And I want to start my day of my week. I'm starting my weekday on a Sunday. I know some persons would use, they would use a Monday, but my calendar, they start my calendar on a Sunday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm going to leave Wednesday out for a special reason and put Thursday, Friday, Sabbath, or Saturday for you. I leave Wednesday out because Wednesday is normally the day that I take off to have self-care. And I put that in the color that I like, my pink color. So I write that Wednesday, W-E-D, in my pink color. And it's good to color code. That way it gives your eyes, a shift. You understand what's going on in terms of what did those colors mean. And I'll be working with the month of August. So what I'll do to the top here, I'll put the month, M-O-N-T-H, and I'll put the year, Y-E-A-R. And then I'll write those in. We're looking at August, the month of August, A-U-G-U-S-T, and the year 2025. Okay? Now, this month started on a Friday, so I'm going to put those in right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what's very important to know is that these lines stayed on permanently, but if I didn't have those lines staying permanently, I would use my blue marker to go and draw in these lines. So if you didn't have them before, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines going across, and then I have, apart from the 2 black ones, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the space at the bottom. And the reason why I do it, because some months, as you know, some months are 4 weeks and some months are 5 months. I'm just going to draw them over so you see exactly what it is that I'm doing. Oops, all the way across. I made a mess there. That's okay. So you just draw your blue line from the tip all the way across with your ruler, just showing you what to do, but it's already here. That would have been done before I put my numbers in. So we have the full month of August, and the first thing I want to do, and I'm going to encourage you to plan your month around your crystal balls. What is it as important to you? Now for me, the Sabbath is important. So of course, I highlight the Sabbath in purple, That's why this is in purple and marked out like that, because this is Sabbath day and I'm off that day all the time in worship. But apart from that, I also want to put in my self-care day, which is Wednesday. So next week I want to go, let's say I went kayaking on Wednesday. Next week I want to go snorkeling. And the following day I'm going to have my sister's birthday is the 20th of August. So I'm going to put birthday plans for her, birthday, something special for her. And then the following week I just want to go to the beach and I want to relax at the beach, okay? Or indoors. So my self-care day is already in. My Sabbath is already in. Now I can go ahead now with other days and put in my productivity days as it pertains to my PhD, my research, etc. I know that on Monday I'm going to be at graduate studies studying. I'm doing my research. I've used the black ink pen for that. I'm going to put graduate studies. I will be here 10 until 4 on Monday. So I'm going to go through every single Monday. GS grad studies 10 to 4. 10 to 4. GS 10 to 4. And on Tuesdays, I want to finish a little bit earlier because I do have a Bible study in the evening. And I also like to be able to go and get a nice beach walk at the end of the day. So I'm going to be on Tuesdays. It's going to be grad studies 10 until 2. And Wednesday's already in. It's self-care day, so I don't have to worry about putting anything there. It's already in. Thursdays, I'm going to also go from 10, but I'll go to 4 o'clock because after 4, I do have another engagement at 4:30. So 10 until 4, but so I'll go a little bit longer here. 10 till 4. Or I may sometimes start at 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock because I'm going to be here a bit longer. But I still put 10 until 4, just in case I'm running a little bit late. You know, I want to lay back a little, I can do that. 10 until 4 on Thursdays. Fridays for me, I prepare for Sabbath, so that is going to be with my different color coded pen, orange pen. So I put Sabbath prep, Sabbath prep, Sabbath prep. Or I can just put SP, I know what that stands for. SP, Sabbath prep. And of course, I already have my Sabbath already cleared off because I know that day is a very special day for me with my Savior. Now, Sundays, you see I kept Sunday blank because some Sundays I decide I want to either stay in, do some stuff around the house, at home, what have you, or sometimes I would come down to grad studies and put some work in. But I leave it blank so I know, well, this is the day I can actually, play with. But I do know that on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, I'm doing my research. I'm locked in with my research at these particular hours. And I know on Wednesdays, whether I go kayaking or whether I feel like staying home and just lounging around the house and relaxing or baking or what have you, I do know that on Wednesdays are my self-care days. And on Sabbaths, I have that day off when I'm at church, fellowship, etc. And on Fridays, I do know that I'm Sabbath prepping on that day. This is actually quite critical. So the next thing I want to do is I want to show you what this looks like, transfers this now, what this looks like with my diary, my planner, okay? The beauty about the whiteboard and the reason why I use the whiteboard is because it gives me an overview, a broad overview of what my month looks like. So I can put this anywhere in my home and I can see, okay, I know what the days look like, what the month looks like, a broad overview. And the reason why I use my planner now is that I'm able now to go from day to day and plan with these solid things already in, plan in the other activities I have between the hours of 7 or 6. I start my day at 5:45, my first workout session, 5:45. Between 5:45 and 10 a.m., I know what I'm doing. And then after 4 on Mondays, I know what I have to plan it all in here. So this is the broad overview, but my planner now breaks down my day-to-day activities with this as part of it as well. But I like to do the whiteboard. And you can use a bigger whiteboard, it doesn't have to be small. The bigger you use, the more you get to add to your whiteboard. But the reality is it gives you a broad, you can see, wherever it's rested, you can see a broad overview of what your month looks like. So now we're going to pause and we're going to go into looking at how to incorporate this into your daily schedule. Okay. So now we're back. We're going to be looking at how I use my planner to complement my monthly overview. So we're here in the month of August. I've already started, my planning session because we're in the month of August already. And so what I have here is also color-coded pens, to be able to help, assist me with my planning as well too. So what the daily planner allows me to be able to do is to break down by hour and day and week what this looks like as an overview. This breaks down days, hours, and the weeks, etc. So here I was able on Tuesday to key in. I start my morning with my devotion early in the morning, about 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning. Then I have my first session, because I do workout sessions via Zoom. My first workout session, or my session for the day, all my sessions start at 5:45 to 6:30 or 6:45, depending on what day it is. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have high impact, and those start at 5:45 in the morning to 6:45. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I have low impact, and that's from 5:45 to 6:30. So that's already in here. Workout session, 5:45 to 6:45. This is a Tuesday. Some days I do sunbathing, so I go sunbathe from 7 to 7:30. Then I have breakfast. Then I have, look here, I have 10 to 2 p.m. This is a Tuesday, August 5th. 10 to 2 p.m. on Tuesday at Grad Studies, which links back up with my broad calendar, where I have 10 to 2 p.m. at Grad Studies. Then I end early, like I said, I want to probably go for a walk at the beach. So I have here in the end, beach walk, relax. That's Tuesday. On Wednesday, I have written in a purple pen, kayaking. And my devotion, once again, 4 to 5 in the morning. I have my workout session, 5:45 a.m. to 6:45 a.m. on, actually 6:30 actually, 6:30 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Then I sunbathe if I need to sunbathe, have breakfast, and I know that day is a relaxing day. It's Wednesday, so I relax, I go kayaking, or, do something for self-care. So I pretty much finished, I left a few days. I was just looking to show a practical how I go about doing my workout, planning my daily activity and weekly activity, more microscopic than having it done on my whiteboard. Now, some planners, they do come with the month, a full display of the month before you start on your daily outline of your month. Now, if you can get a planner that has, the full month display before you go into your day-to-day activity, that's excellent. I don't have, this one is not like that. And also, you can get a planner that actually has the times, 9:30 to 10:30 or 9 to 10, what have you. I prefer to have one without the timing. That way I can create my own times for myself by each activity, because what I find is that if I have a lot of stuff happening at close proximity, I'm unable to get them at the time that I want. So not having the time for me is good for me, because then I can put the time in on my own. So you have a variety of different planners. Use which planner works best for you. Now, giving you that example of how I use my planner on the day-to-day activity, we're going to go over to the computer using a very simple Microsoft Word calendar to do a very similar thing as I've done right here. And all you're doing is transferring what you've done here onto that calendar. The difference is that because you are in an area you can type in, you may be able to get more of the activities on that page than you would get on a simple 8.5 by 11 whiteboard. But you can also choose to get a bigger whiteboard as well too. But the reality is, two of these together, or the planner from the computer calendar and this, works very, very good for me. So let's go over and look at to see how I use the computer calendar from Microsoft Word to help plan my schedule for the month. This is my finished one for the month of August, but I'm going to do, I'm going to walk you through this here, and then I'm going to go and pull up a new one and create it with you. So it's a calendar, a simple calendar, and once again I chose one that starts on a Sunday, but if your week starts on a Monday, you can choose the Monday one. And you can see I have August here, I have 2025, and I've already keyed in the Wednesday you see is in pink, and I've keyed in kayaking on August 6th, lunch with friends, beach day on the 13th, snorkeling, big sister's birthday is right here, something special for her, and beach day paddle boarding on the 27th of August. And also you see here on the Monday, the Tuesday, and the Thursday, I have my study time where I'm doing my research is here, and then the Sabbath day is blank but colored in pink because that's my worship day. Okay, so it's simple and easy. Now, what I did do to the bottom, which is really very good for using the computer, I have special events I can also key in. So I know on August 26th, I have a health lecture to do at the camp. It's summer here in Barbados. Children are still off of school at summer camp. And on the 26th of August, I have to do a special presentation to children at the camp. It's called The Importance of Being Healthy. So that's here. So underneath your calendar, you have an event section where you can, highlight certain things from the month that you know are important to you, that you want to maintain. On Tuesdays, I have Bible studies on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 to 9 p.m. I have Bible studies. And then my workout sessions are here as well, too. Mondays and Wednesdays, low impact, 5:45 to 6:30. Tuesday and Thursday, high impact, 5:45 to 6:45. And then on Thursdays at 4:30 to 6:30, I have an event where I go help clean the church. So I'm able with the Microsoft Word to be able to do add a bit more into it than just having to have a general concept with my whiteboard. So I can also print this off and I can stick it somewhere in my office, my home office, or somewhere in the kitchen, or where I can see it so that I can still see my full overview of my plans for the month. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a new one so you can see exactly how it's done. I hope that I'm helping. Alrighty, so I've tried my best to bring it closer to you. I'm going to go to start a new calendar. So I go to File, I go to New from Template. Now I know there are a variety of different apps out there that you can actually use to be able to create your own productivity schedule, but I'm looking at the very basic, very simple, practical way without having to expense yourself to be able to use tools you already have to be able to create and help yourself to better productivity. So I'm going to type in, I'm only seeing one kind of calendar here. So what I'm going to go do is the search bar and type in calendar, CALENDAR, and it will give me more variety. And you can choose what kind of style, you can make it creative, you can choose it from a variety of different calendars. Now I'm looking for the one that starts on, this one here starts on the Monday. I don't want a Monday start, I do want a Sunday start, and I find very same one right here starts on the Sunday. I double click that and it will open up. And as long as it opens up, you see it already has select month and year. It already has the month of August and the year 2025. I hit OK. I put it on full screen so I can show you what I'm doing. Now this month is written very big. I'm going to reduce this to give me more space on my calendar. So I'm going to reduce that, make it a lot smaller, about 20. Good. 20. Then I'm going to choose the color I want for that. Pink, of course. And then I'm going to go ahead. See, we have all this activity, it's free space to write in. I'm going to start with my Wednesday. I'm going to make my Wednesday pink and pink. I can actually create that entire thing, fill it with a light pink as well too. And I'm also going to separate my Saturday as well too with pink and create that entire section as pink as well too. I'm going to use a lighter pink. Let's see, to fill as well. Yeah. So those 2 days are already selected for me. Now I'm going to go in now. The month of August started on the Friday the 1st, but I'm just giving you an example of how I planned my first one that I showed you earlier. So August 1st was the Friday. I know it's a prep day, Sabbath preparation. So I'm going to put SABBA, Sabbath preparation. So I'm going to fill out all my Fridays, Sabbath. So you can go on and put in all those on that particular day that you already know. Put in all the crystal balls, all the things that you already know are a priority for you. Okay. Here, I'm going to put kayaking. Then I'm going to put here paddleboarding or just paddleboard. And so on. I know this day is my sister's birthday, so I put big sis birthday. something special. Okay, and you continue along. Then I put in now my times for studying research. So grad studies, graduate studies, and my time I can put in 10 on Monday, 10 until 4 p.m. and so forth until you fill out the entire thing. And then you can go down to the bottom, and if it's too big, what I do, I make this a lot smaller. So it's here, I can make it a little bigger. And then I'll keep events, I'll put that in pink, and then I go ahead and type in the events that are important for me throughout the month of August. I know that an event is coming up, health talk at camp, and I put the date right here and what it is all about, August 26, and put in what that is about, importance of being healthy. I can change the font, make it smaller. I also will put that in here as well in my calendar, up here, health talk, importance of being healthy. And the time is going to be at, I believe it's 10:30 to 12 noon. So that helps me to plan my schedule around that because I made a commitment to that as well. So this is a basic, simple example of what you can do to be able to help with your productivity as well as planning your self-care using the basic calendar in Microsoft Word. I hope that helps. Okay, welcome back. I do hope that this simple demonstration of using 3 simple tools, the very affordable whiteboard, the daily planner, as well as using the calendar on your computer from Microsoft Word, will be able to help you get organized and be able to plan your productivity as it relates to your research time, as well as incorporating self-care. Now, the next thing I want to discuss with you is why is self-care important, and why planning ahead is really very important for you. And the number one reason is, and I tell my clients this as well too, it is always best to have a plan. If you have a plan in place, even on the worst day, or if something comes up that's important out of the blue, because you have a plan, it is easier to get back on schedule than if you do not have a plan. So I always encourage persons to have a plan. You bounce back a lot better and easier, and your time is not as wasted than if you do not have a plan. That is the number one priority why I would say to you to plan out so that you can get the best of productivity in when it comes to your research, and you can also make sure you have that balance with your life. I do hope that this session was actually quite good for you, helpful to you in some way, some form or fashion, and I do hope that you'll be able to say, you know what, I can do that. I can see myself being able to do that with very simple tools, the whiteboard, your diary, and the simple calendar on the Microsoft Word. Not an expensive app, nothing you have to get sent to you, simply tools you already have, or rather cheap investment into a whiteboard and markers to get you going. Before I go, once again, I do want to promote that book that is Gold Dust by Dr. Demetriou. It's called Supporting the Mental Health and Wellbeing of Learners in Post-16 Education. Gold, absolute gold. If you can get your hand on it, definitely get your hand on it and peruse it. I mentioned only one chapter, but of course there are other chapters that are really valuable to any person in academia and outside of academia. So definitely get your hand on that book by Dr. Demetriou. My next video, I'm excited about that. I'll be looking at systematic reviews, and I'm going to make a very practical video walking you through step by step, walking you through why a systematic review is so important and going from step to step with you so you can be able to do your own systematic review as well. Until then, I do hope this video helps you in some way. I will leave my details below. If you want to contact me for any help at all, I'm really excited. I love to share and help persons get on their journey or give them encouragement while they're in the journey. Contact me and let's have a chat about it. I do hope to see you once again back here on PhD Journey where I share. Bye!